Kevin. Before we get the meeting underway today, I must inform you that this council meeting is being recorded and live streamed to Council's YouTube channel. The recording will also be made available on Council's website. Whilst all care has been taken to ensure that your privacy is maintained, please be aware that your presence may be recorded. First of all, I'll call for apologies today, and I understand Councillor Ostasevic's apology due to some technological issues today, so he'll be an apology. Are there any other apologies? No, thank you for that. We'll head straight into the reports for today, and the first report is 3.1, the preparation of the annual report 21-22, and we have a recommendation here. Could I get a motion in regard to that recommendation, or some other motion, please?
Yes, I'm happy to do that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Dempsey. You could have a seconder, please. Councillor Grady, thank you very much. Councillor Dempsey.
The recommendation is that Council, in accordance with Section 98 and 99 of the Local Government Act 2020, 1, approves in principle the following, am I reading the right one? Yeah. Statements of the 21 to 22 financial year, financial statements of the year ended 30 June 2022, performance statement 2021-22. And 2, authorises Councillor Mayor Emerson and Councillor Irwin to certify the 2021 to 22 statements as detailed in Part 1 of the recommendation in their final form after any changes recommended or agreed to by the Auditor General have been made and in accordance with the requirements of the Local Government Act 2020.
Thank you, Councillor Dempsey. Councillor Grady. Hang on a minute. I think we've got the motion. We've got a seconder. Yeah, you're seconding the motion.
Yes. I have no more to add. Councillor Dempsey basically stated the.
We're just looking for a seconder at the minute.
Oh right. Yeah, I'll second it. Yeah,
I'll now ask Councillor Dempsey to speak about the motion, please.
The annual report is a very detailed document. I've had the pleasure of reading it in a lot of detail. So thank you to the governance officers, the finance team, everyone, all the staff that have put this together. It's definitely a document that we put forward as a council to provide transparency at all costs, and so it's just a legislated requirement of the Local Government Act as well, and I think that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Grady?
No, Mr Mayor, basically nothing else to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillors like to speak for or against the motion? I'm not seeing any. Councillor Dempsey, would you like to sum up?
Yes, I'll just say that we've chosen to appoint Mayor Emerson and Councillor Irwin as they're the members of the Audit and Risk Finance Committee, so it's sort of apt that they're the ones that certify the documents here. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I call for the vote, I might just mention the amount of work, and Councillor Dempsey touched on it, but the amount of work that goes into this by Vaughan Williams and Graham Haylock and their teams is immense. I know that it takes many, many months to get it together. So well done on behalf of Council Graham, and you'll pass on that to your team, I'm sure. Council wouldn't be able to continue on unless we had all of this work done in the annual report. Thank you very much for that on behalf of my fellow councillors and I. I'll put the motion to vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. 3.2, the reappointment of an Audit and Risk Committee member. Can I get a motion in regard to this matter, please?
Yes, Mr Mayor, I'd like to move that Council appoints Mr Tony Roberts to the Audit and Risk Committee until the 30th of September 2025.
Thank you. Am I able to get a seconder for that motion, please?
Yep, happy to second, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Dempsey. Councillor Irwin?
Yes, look, this is a reappointment, I guess. Mr Roberts has been in the Audit Committee for a little while and he does a very fine job and he's very generous with his time too. I think he donates his time to the Audit Committee, which is very generous and has great input into the Audit and Risk Committee. So more than happy to recommend that Tony be reappointed.
Thank you very much. Councillor Dempsey?
Not much further to add, as Councillor Irwin stated as well, that he does sit on that Audit and Risk Committee, and so take your word for it that Tony Roberts is a great member of that. And I did read as well that he donates his time, which I think is really credit to his character. So happy to second that motion.
Thank you very much. Any other councillors like to speak for or against the motion? Like to sum up, Councillor Irwin?
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. I'll put the motion to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. 3.3, the Audit and Risk Committee Biannual Activity Report. And we've been provided with a report from the Audit and Risk Committee and have a recommendation. Could I get a motion in regard to that recommendation or another motion?
Happy to move that Council receives and notes the Audit and Risk Committee biannual report for the 6 months to the 30th of June 2022.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Could I get a second, please?
I'll second that, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Haswell, thank you very much. Councillor Irwin, you'd like to speak to the motion?
Yes, look, this has been supplied by the Chair of the Audit and Risk Committee and as you can see the committee has been active over the last 6 months and probably just one of the highlights out of there, and it's hit the news at the moment with the Optus, what do you call it? Breach. And the work that the Northern Grampians Shire has done in this area has been incredible, actually. And great thanks must go to Mary and Stretch for doing an enormous amount of work. It will be ongoing, as this always needs refreshing constantly, and great credit must go to those two people. I think the state program, if I can just see it here, Victorian Protective Data and Security Standards, that's what they're working under, and it is an enormous amount of work and will be an enormous amount of work now and in the future. So well done to those people who've worked on this program. And you can see too that we've looking at the review of the audit and risk, the review of the risk management framework, and that's a work in progress as well. And I think the Audit and Risk Committee, with 3 external people on it, and a fellow councillor, Mr Emerson, and various others, do a great job in keeping the council, both financially and in terms of risk management, on track. So well done to all.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Councillor Haswell?
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Any other councillors like to speak for or against the motion? Ask Councillor Irwin to sum up.
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. I'll put the motion to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you for that. Item of business 3.4, the Central Grampians LEN councillor appointment. And I have a recommendation here. Can I get a motion in regard to that recommendation or some other motion, please?
Mr Mayor, I'm happy to move that Council appoints Councillor Lauren Dempsey to the Central Grampians LEN Board of Management Delegate for the remainder of 2022.
Thank you, Councillor.
I'll second that, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Haswell. Councillor Irwin?
Look, I think Councillor Dempsey's can more than handle this appointment. I should thank Councillor Haswell, who's been on that board for how long?
Nearly.
Nearly a year, for the great work that he's done, and Councillor Dempsey taking over that work will do a more than adequate job.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Councillor Haswell?
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Any other councillors like to speak for or against the motion? I'm not seeing any. Councillor Irwin, would you like to sum up, please?
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. I'll put the motion to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. That appears to be the end of our business for the special council meeting today. So I declare the meeting closed at 12:41 p.m. Thank you very much for your attendance.